Some places on Earth aren't just dangerous. They're hostile to human life itself. Stay until the end, because the final place should not exist at all. Our planet, a vibrant tapestry of life, holds pockets of extremity so profound they seem to belong to another world. These are not merely challenging environments, they are realms where biology and chemistry conspire against our existence. Here, the air itself can be poison. The water can turn flesh to stone. The ground hides forces of unimaginable power. Join me at the edges of existence, 10 locations where survival is measured in moments. Prepare to witness Earth as a force of breathtaking, terrifying hostility. In the northern corner of Ethiopia lies a region that looks less like our world and more like a volatile alien planet. This is the Danakil Depression, one of the lowest, driest, hottest places on Earth. Daytime temperatures routinely exceed 50 degrees Celsius, 122 Fahrenheit. A tectonic triple junction tears the continent apart beneath your feet. Hydrothermal fields bubble with a toxic brew. Geysers spew superheated, acidic water. These brilliant pools are sulfuric acid, potent enough to dissolve organic matter on contact. To breathe here is to inhale a cocktail of poisonous gases, chlorine and sulfur rising from fissures. Human physiology is not built for this. Dehydration, heat stroke, respiratory damage arrive fast. And yet, extremophiles thrive, microbes adapted to heat and acid. Their existence highlights our fragility, a vivid warning painted in toxic color. The Danakil Depression, a world without us, a place still being born, violent and untamed. Off Brazil's coast lies a small, unassuming island, strictly off limits. From afar, a verdant paradise. Up close, a biological minefield. The ruler here is the golden lancehead, Bothrops insularis, found nowhere else on Earth. Rising seas isolated the population. Evolution did the rest. Feeding on migratory birds, they evolved venom of extraordinary potency. Estimates reach 1 to 5 snakes per square meter in places. A complex hemotoxin and neurotoxin, up to 5 times stronger than mainland relatives. Bites bring agony, swelling, internal bleeding, necrosis. Without antivenom, mortality soars. Only vetted teams land, in full protective gear, with doctors. Every step is a negotiation with death. Isolation forged danger, and fear. Snake Island remains a mystery, guarded by countless deadly sentinels. In northern Tanzania lies Lake Natron, a surreal, spectral crimson. Its shores are littered with eerie, stone-like figures. A soda lake fed by hot springs leaching sodium carbonate and minerals. Alkalinity can reach pH 10.5, nearly as caustic as ammonia. Contact strips protective oils. Victims can calcify into salt-encrusted statues. Bodies harden, a haunting mausoleum of chemistry. The colors are life. Vast colonies of salt-loving microorganisms. Paradoxically, it's the key breeding ground for the lesser flamingo, adapted to endure. For humans, the water is corrosive. Springs can scald at 60 degrees Celsius. A haven for some, a petrifying grave for others. Beautiful, deadly, a spectacle of extreme chemistry. Lake Natron is not meant for us. In April 1986, Chernobyl unleashed a radioactive plume across Europe. A nearby pine forest turned ginger brown and died. The red forest. The danger is invisible, odorless, pervasive. Cesium-137, strontium-90, plutonium. Particles settled into soil and life. To walk here is to tread a radiating landscape. 30 years for cesium and strontium. Plutonium, 24,000. Contamination pools in hotspots. A roulette of exposure. A single particle lodged inside can irradiate for a lifetime. Wildlife returned. Not proof of health, but of absence. Elevated mutations, tumors, cataracts. Bioaccumulation climbs the food chain. Science can map decay. It cannot cleanse the land. A ghostly, poisoned wilderness. A warning carved in half-lives. Deep in Peru, legend speaks of a river that boils from below. The Shanay Timpishka, the boiling river, is real. Temperatures soar, often 50 to over 95 degrees Celsius. Hot enough to make tea, and inflict third-degree burns in seconds. Unlucky animals fall in and are cooked from the inside out. Unlike most geothermal systems, it is far from a volcano. Rain seeps deep, heats along the geothermal gradient, and resurfaces through faults. Steam scalds. Ground is treacherous. One slip is fatal. To locals, a place of immense spiritual power, used with reverence. To science, a puzzle that challenges models, a raw vein of Earth's heat through the rainforest. A beautiful, scalding boundary we were not made to cross. On Sumatra stands Mount Sinabung, dormant for centuries, awakened in 2010. Since then, near constant eruptions, a deadly reminder of the Pacific Ring of Fire. Life here means living with annihilation at your doorstep. The threat isn't just lava, it's explosive unpredictability. Ash grounds flights, collapses roofs, destroys crops. Superheated avalanches of gas, ash, and rock up to 1,000 degrees, hundreds of kilometers per hour. Nothing survives a pyroclastic flow. Monitoring helps, but some blasts arrive with little warning. Necessity draws risk-takers back to fertile, treacherous ground. Viscous, gas-rich magma and moving plates drive violence we cannot control. Sinabung is a forbidden zone by physics. Approach, and you face a terrestrial inferno. In the vast Pacific lies Bikini Atoll, a paradise, poisoned. Between 1946 and 1958, 23 U.S. tests, including Castle Bravo. Blasts vaporized islands, pulverized coral rained radioactive fallout across the atoll. Cesium-137 mimics potassium, entering soils, plants, animals, the food chain. Residents were relocated. Attempts to return ended when food tested dangerously hot. Coconuts, breadfruit, fish, tainted from within. Ambient radiation allows brief visits, but living off the land remains unsafe. Nature rebounds, yet abundance is tainted by bioaccumulation. A human-made forbidden place, a Cold War monument to unleashed power. Decades, perhaps centuries, before true safety for resettlement. Paradise, haunted. Bikini Atoll remains a beautiful radioactive ghost. Life depends on oxygen. Our bodies are built around its constant supply. Yet anoxic and hypoxic zones spread, in seas and underground. Nutrient runoff fuels blooms. Bacterial decay devours dissolved oxygen. Creatures unable to flee simply die. These deserts can span thousands of square miles. In caves, anoxia occurs naturally, pockets where oxygen has been consumed. Other gases replace it: carbon dioxide, nitrogen, methane. We don't sense low O2. CO2 drives our breath. You feel dizzy, lose consciousness, and perish. Yet life persists. Anaerobes respiring sulfur and nitrogen, echoing early Earth. No sign, no smell, no sound. Danger as invisible as air. A fundamental absence our biology cannot survive. Step outside that balance, and the machinery of life stops. Antarctica's McMurdo Dry Valleys, the largest ice-free region on the continent. One of Earth's most extreme deserts. A Mars analog. First, relentless cold. Winter below -68 Celsius. No insulating snow. Mountains block ice flow. Winds can exceed 300 kilometers per hour, stripping any snowfall. Second, near total lack of water. Drier than the Sahara. Ice turns directly to vapor. Sublimation rules. Third, intense UV during endless summer daylight. Human survival demands full technological support. Yet microscopic life persists in rock and hypersaline ice, at the edge of possibility. Proof that life can endure, and how inhospitable a world without warmth truly is. A Martian freeze on Earth. Not meant for humans. On the Rwanda-DRC border, Lake Kivu is beautiful and terrifying. Its waters are heavily stratified. Deep layers don't mix with the surface. Volcanic activity feeds gases into the depths over millennia. Pressure keeps them dissolved. A precarious equilibrium. The deep waters hold methane, and more dangerously, carbon dioxide. Roughly 250 cubic kilometers of CO2 and 60 of methane. A colossal reservoir. Like an unshaken soda. But what if the bottle is shaken? A quake or eruption could trigger a limnic eruption. Layers collapse and upwell. Gas flashes out, forming an invisible cloud that displaces oxygen and suffocates life. In 1986, Lake Nyos CO2 killed over 1,700 people and 3,500 livestock. Kivu is 2,000 times larger and holds 300 plus times the gas. 2 million people live along its shores. A silent catastrophe in waiting. A place not meant for a single human breath. We have journeyed to the planet's most unforgiving corners. Cauldrons of acid, forests of radiation, lakes that hold the power of mass extinction. These places aren't evil. They follow laws incompatible with our biology. Active threats, geological, chemical, biological, and sometimes of our own making. Our dominion is conditional. To know these places is to see the lines we must never cross. If this planet still scares you, subscribe, because there are places on Earth we were never meant to find.